My name is Elena Vargas, and for 29 years, my entire world revolved around one person. My son Daniel. I didn't plan on being a single mother. Life pushed me into it. Daniel's father walked out when I was 3 months pregnant. No fight, no reason, no apology. One morning he just said he wasn't ready for a family, packed his clothes in the trunk of his car, and disappeared from our lives like we were nothing. So I raised my boy alone. I worked morning shifts at a bakery, cleaned offices at night, and stitched clothes for neighbors just to keep the lights on. The world never gave me much, but I gave Daniel everything I had. Every opportunity, every sacrifice, every breath. When he was little, he used to say, "Mama, when I grow up, I'll take care of you. You'll never work again." I would smile, kiss his forehead, and believe him. But life doesn't warn you when that love will stop being returned. Not every wound bleeds. Some wounds are shaped like your own child. Daniel was 26 when he brought a girl home and introduced her as Sienna Hale. Beautiful, polished, social media perfect. The type of girl who always looked like she came straight from a photo shoot. The type of girl who said all the right things, but her eyes never smiled with her mouth. From the first day, I knew something was wrong. She didn't greet me with warmth. She looked at my old house like it was diseased. She barely spoke to me unless Daniel was around. But he adored her. And because I adored him, I tried to accept her. I cooked for her. I bought gifts for her. I welcomed her into every holiday and family moment. But behind closed doors, she whispered things to Daniel. I could see it in the way he changed. He stopped calling me every night. Stopped visiting as often. Stopped inviting me out with them. I had spent 29 years being his closest person. But within months, I felt like I had been demoted to a stranger. Still, I blamed myself. Maybe I wasn't trying hard enough. Maybe I wasn't enough for the son I raised alone. God, mothers blame themselves for everything. Daniel proposed to her within a year. I should have been thrilled. I should have cried, the good kind of tears. I should have felt like I was gaining a daughter. But instead, I walked into a wedding planning I had nothing to do with. They planned everything without me. They booked the venue without asking my availability. They chose every flower, every color, every detail without a single question. One evening, I gently asked, "Daniel, do you want me to help with the preparations?" He sighed. Actually sighed. Like my involvement was a burden. "Mom, we don't want it to look old-fashioned." No offense. Old-fashioned. As if love had an expiration date. As if motherhood had an aesthetic. Still, I swallowed my pride and smiled. The day of the wedding, they sat me in the third row, not the front. Sienna's family got luxury seats. Marcus and his friends got seats close to the aisle. People I never met were sitting closer than me. When Daniel walked past me, I reached for his hand. He pulled away because the photographer was recording. That was the moment I knew. I wasn't losing my son. I had already lost him. After the wedding, Sienna got Daniel into a new crowd. Rich friends. Heavy spenders. Including the one who influenced him the most, Marcus Finn. Marcus was the type who lived for appearances. Expensive dinners. Weekend trips. Lavish clothing. Bottles at clubs. He didn't care about debt or stability, only reputation. And Daniel mirrored everything he did. But Daniel didn't earn Marcus's salary. So he started using my money. At first it was small. "Mom, can I borrow a little for rent?" "Mom, I need help with bills." "Mom, I'll pay you back next week." He never did. Then it became more. He asked me to help with car payments. Then with vacations. Then with home appliances. I didn't mind helping. I was a mother. But I wish they asked with respect, not entitlement. Sienna never once said thank you. Never once apologized. Never once offered to pay back even a single dollar. To her, my wallet wasn't assistance. It was an obligation. But Daniel wasn't just borrowing money. He was draining my savings. The savings I spent 29 years building. The savings that were supposed to be for my retirement. Everything came crashing down on a warm Sunday afternoon. Daniel called me begging to borrow money for a vacation with Marcus and the group. I told him the truth. "I can't give you any more. I have nothing left to spare." He grew silent. Then cold. Then angry. He hung up. I thought he just needed time to cool down. But an hour later, I received a message that turned my heart to dust. A video. Sent from Sienna. Recorded secretly. In the video, Daniel was sitting with Sienna and his friends, including Marcus. They were laughing. Laughing at me. Daniel's voice was clear. My mom pretends she's struggling, but she's been saving money for years. She refuses to help because she likes watching me suffer. Everyone laughed. Marcus added, "Bro, you need to cut her off. She's using emotional guilt to control you." Sienna chimed in. "She's jealous of me. That's why she won't give us money." Jealous. Of her. Of someone who had done nothing but take and take and take. My hands trembled as I watched. I replayed it again and again, unable to breathe. My son. My baby. The child who slept on my chest every night. Was now humiliated by the very people I sacrificed everything for. I didn't cry. Not at first. The tears came later. Slow. Heavy. Silent. Mothers don't just cry when they're hurt. They cry when their souls break. They didn't visit me for weeks. I didn't want to reach out. Not after hearing what they really thought of me. But one evening, someone knocked on my door. It was Mrs. Lorraine Bennett, my elderly neighbor. She carried a small casserole dish and a gentle smile. "I saw you sitting alone earlier," she said softly. "You looked like you needed company." I didn't tell her everything. But somehow she understood. She patted my hand. "Children forget," she whispered. "But life never leaves a mother empty-handed. Not forever." That night, I cried again. But this time not from pain. From relief. That someone finally saw me. 3 months later, Daniel stood at my doorstep. He looked thinner. Tired. Hollow. "Mom, can we talk?" I let him in. He broke down almost immediately. Marcus had borrowed money from him and vanished. Sienna's spending habits had buried them in debt. Their friends were gone. Their marriage was cracking. Their utilities were getting shut off. "We need help," he whispered. "We thought you'd understand." I stared at him quietly. For the first time in my life, I didn't run to fix his problems. I didn't offer solutions. I didn't reach for my wallet. I didn't rush to ease his guilt. I simply said, "Daniel, I love you, but I won't destroy myself to save you anymore." He looked stunned, as if hearing no from his mother was unthinkable. Sienna didn't even show up. She didn't apologize. She didn't care. Daniel left that day with his shoulders slumped. And I closed the door gently behind him. My heart cracked, but it no longer shattered. Months passed. Daniel visits sometimes. Not as much as he used to, but enough to show he's trying. His marriage to Sienna is barely holding together. She has not apologized. I don't expect her to. Our relationship is different now. Not broken. Not whole. Just quieter. He hugs me with guilt in his eyes. I hug him with forgiveness in mine. But forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It simply means choosing peace over pain. Sometimes, when I sit near the window with my tea, I think about the little boy who once promised to take care of me. And I whisper into the empty room, "I hope you find your way back, Daniel. Not to me, but to the man you were meant to be." I don't know what the future holds. But I know this. I raised my son with love. I lost him to the world. And I got him back. Not completely. Not perfectly. But enough. Motherhood isn't a fairy tale. It's an ocean. Some days calm. Some days storms. Some days waves that swallow you whole. But no matter how deep the hurt, a mother's heart keeps beating. For hope. For healing. For the chance that one day, the child she raised will finally understand the love she carried alone.